On today's episode of Pennies Going In Raw, Hugh and I discuss a wild August, how to adjust to a changing market, Q&A, and our working while trading segment with our new best friends, Breathe Carolina.
Hey, yo, check 1, 2. This is Flavor Flav in the building for the Atlas crew.
Atlas Trading, what the fuck is up?
There are traders, there are prodigies, and then there's legends.
We're on 4%, baby.
No way.
4 fucking percent. Buy the fucking dip.
Hey, who told me about IDEX?
Like, dude, what the fuck? Like, someone just made, like, a lot more money than me on my trade.
You find out life's this game of pennies.
Did you check the portfolio?
Pennies. The margin for error is so small.
I bet Warren Buffett never did that.
And they out there making money right now off of penny stocks.
Them two guys is putting in work to make y'all rich.
The pennies we need are everywhere around us.
Time to think big.
Pennies Going In Raw.
Featuring Dan, Deity at Dukes.
And Hugh Honey.
Produced by Vinny Strokes, baby.
Welcome to the Penny Stock Podcast, brought to you by the Blazing Chronicle. Today is Sunday, August 23rd, and Hugh, is this slow-ass August going to end in 7 days, or is it going to be like Groundhog's Day deciding if the rest of the year is going to be trash?
Wow. You're really coming out with those analogies.
I thought about that one.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it starts to heat up again. I'm really getting bored out of my mind. But I think it will. PJ and I talked about this, and I think that this is really important, that if we didn't have this pullback here, or quote unquote, when I say pullback, I mean in volume, then we were really afraid that by the time the election season came around, that would be it for the market, that we would start to see August, like, quote unquote, the August slow from the election to the end of the year. And that's not what we wanted. So I'm kind of happy that this is happening. We take 3 weeks of the market being slow for the rest of the year to be really hot. So I'm kind of okay with it.
Yeah, man. I think it's good for a longer term, but right now, for newer traders, it's like war out there. It's like you look around and it's like a D-Day movie. People with one leg cut off, screaming like, help! Where's my resume? This is the worst month ever,
Yeah.
I mean, but it's gonna be the worst month ever, especially if you started in March.
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, when you're so used to those huge runners and so much gain. I mean, some of these guys were putting in 50% of their portfolio and doubling it in a day on chasing news. And now it's just not a thing. If something pops 50%, sometimes that's a good day. Sometimes that's the top runner. So I think that
if something pops 50%, that's definitely a good day.
Yeah.
But it's things like right now. I think even around July-ish, it started to slow down where things don't run 2 days in a row. I think even in like April and June, they were still moving.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Like the next day.
Yeah, they were still, and the thing is that the sympathies were going nuts. We've had a lot of people in our DMs talking about that why aren't sympathies moving as much? It's not that they're not moving as much. It's just that the amount that they used to move. A perfect example was UAVS and Vissel. When UAVS went like even when UAVS would go 60%, I mean, Vissel was right behind it going like 30, 40%. So now that you're seeing the sympathies not run as hard, everyone's like, what the heck? When in reality, 20% is beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get 20% off a sympathy, especially if you catch it fast, it's always really good. That's why you need to know your sectors real well.
Yeah.
I know a lot of folks that seem to have gotten bit by the AVGR offering, but also along with that, I think it'd be good for us to talk about the GEVO offering that happened in the middle of the night. That was wild. If you want to dive into both of those. Yeah,
so we can start with GEVO, and I got some hate for a tweet that I sent out at like 1 a.m. on, what was it, like Thursday or something? That was because I said like, oh, that sucks, and like people thought I was making fun of it. And in a way I am, but you guys have to understand that when something runs that hard, there's always going to be a chance of an offering. Always. You have to go into these stocks assuming that their management are dirtbags, that they're looking to do anything at all to fill their pockets, that just these companies are shitbags. And if you do that, and I've said it a bunch of times, and I guess I haven't tweeted about it enough, is China hustle. If you guys have some time, watch China Hustle, and you will get a completely different perspective. Stop looking for the next Amazon. Stop doing that and look for something that can give us the most amount of profit in the shortest amount of time. And by
China Hustle's on Hulu, by the way.
Yeah, China Hustle's yeah, and it's really good. It gives you into the insight that everything is bullshit. Everything. That no matter what, the odds are always stacked against you, and that it's just it'll blow your mind.
The moral of that movie is take your profits.
Yeah, take your profits. That basically the most. I mean, we can even talk about Enron. Enron was holding up, the economy in the county, and it was completely fake. I mean, it was Enron's entire operation was nonsense. So I think if you guys have some time, watch China Hustle. You'll understand that it is much safer to take your profits on something, and also no blue chip runs as much as penny stocks. They make incredible amount of moves up and down, and if we use that to our advantage, you can make so much money.
Yeah. On the other side, there was AVGR, and it just had an offering about 2 weeks ago, and that was kind of our first entry point, and it dipped to around the exact same spot. I actually got a good bit of that on the dip. It's funny because we recorded the last segment of this episode on Thursday, and I may have made some comments about AVGR that aren't exactly historically correct now, but I'm pretty sure all I said was AVGR has been good this week. But so it had another offering today. I mean, Thursday, excuse me.
Yeah.
Can you kind of dive into it's not going to be like Tops or having offerings every other week.
No, and this is where we talked about it 2 weeks ago, I think, about understand why. Did we do the offering segment 2 weeks ago? Or was that 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, it was a while back.
Yeah, so, and one of the biggest things that we talked about was why are they doing this offering? And one of the reasons that I was so strong about EVFM was because they had done a huge offering. And one of the things that we talk about a lot, and one of our biggest concerns, is an offering right before a product launch. And that's because these companies, and again, I always assume that the management doesn't know what they're doing. And a lot of times they don't. So if they have a product coming to market and they go to commercialize, a lot of companies, if it's their first drug or their first product commercializing, they don't understand that even if it's the smallest drug, it takes 20, 30, 40, $100 million just to commercialize. And that's a lot of money, especially some of these companies that have 30, 40 million market cap. So, or even if you have $1 billion market cap, I mean, 100 million is still a lot just to commercialize. So a lot of these management teams do not take that into account. So that's why it's really important to understand why are they doing the offering. And AVGR, to me, it's not a huge offering, although they didn't give many details. I'm assuming that it's because of the 510K. For you guys that don't know, or if you're new listening, the 510K is for products and FDA clearance. That's significantly easier to get approved than, say like a phase 3 drug or something like that. So in my opinion, I think that the offering was not for compensation, was not some wasteful thing, but I felt that it was for the 510K, and that it was something that they had to do and they had no other options. And that's how I kind of feel about it. So I'm still swinging it. I'm comfortable. We still have 2 or 3 more catalysts, and I'm content.
Okay, good, because I added more. Okay, so I think the main part of this episode that we're going to get to is how to adjust to a changing market. Obviously, there's a lot of things going on, especially when there's COVID and elections and whatnot. And even long-term traders would have seen, like in February, because of January's COVID crisis in China, they were all like, okay, it's going to come to America. Food delivery is going to be necessary because of the lockdowns and all the other plays of that matter. So the fact is that markets change a lot and you got to adjust. How exactly do you kind of, in shorter term, adjust to a market change?
Yeah, so for me, it's not something that just happens overnight. It takes me at least 2 weeks because I like to feel the change and I like to see the change. I'm a big numbers guy, so for me, I like to do like more of like a statistical breakdown of what's going on. So it doesn't take me like overnight and being like, okay, the market's changed today. I don't have like a funny bone that just tells me when the market's changing. For me, it takes time. I like to see the change. And when I feel that a change is coming or that we're in a change, and we talk about, and this is what I do for August. This is kind of like my strategy for August, but this is also when the market's changing, is that when the market's shifting, I take back my position sizing and I take back the amount of swings that we have. So say I have an account that's $50,000, and say that during a hot, quote unquote, hot market, I like to have 40,000 on the street. What I'll do instead is that I'll have maybe 20,000 on the street. And that's just so that I can limit my risk. And that is so that until I feel confident in the shift, I'm limiting my exposure. And so I see like a lot of people, I'm sure you see it too, a lot of people have been losing most of their yearly gains. Like I've seen people, they do 5 months of killer gains, and in this last month, they've blown up.
Yeah, I've never really understood how people blow up their accounts unless they're just putting too much into some stocks. But yeah, when it does slow down, obviously it's a lot smarter to go into less positions. I've already had to do it, not even just less positions, but less size. I used to play like 40, and just in this market, I'm like, Jesus, because whenever that market starts dropping, it's incredibly difficult, and especially when you have that many. And that even comes from just like a mental standpoint of being able to handle it all.
Exactly.
But in terms of like a bull market versus a bear market, how do you exactly transition? And then besides just your position sizes, is there anything else you change?
Yeah, so I changed my position sizes, and although I'm not a huge day trader, if you're a day trader, you need to look for confirmation. If you just see a chart that you like, you need to take an extra step back and understand what's going to happen, and you need that confirmation, because in this market and in bear markets, there's so many fake outs. In 2008, there was over 17,000 hedge funds that went belly up, and the reason that they went belly up was because every time that they thought that the market hit bottom, it would do a fake out, meaning that it would come up a little bit and then go lower, come up a little bit, go lower. And that is what we can't have happen to our accounts. So every time that you think that it's lower, you need to always have some powder or some cash left on the side. Your exposure needs to be so limited during times like this to where you can't blow up your account. It needs to be almost impossible.
Okay, so is there any way that you've noticed that you like to transition to these market changes besides just wait the 2 weeks and filling it out, or is there any other way that you like to do it?
Yeah, so like I said, I don't change my strategy the way that I, like the different stocks or the different strategy that I use. That's all the same. But if I have like a $50,000 account and my usual starter is $8,000, instead I'll pull it back to $5,000. Or if I'm swinging something for like a run up, but it doesn't have an imminent catalyst, so like Target, I was swinging Target purely based on the chart. So I'll cut something like that when I feel the market's changing or that the market's slow, like during August. So if I feel the market's heavy or that it's changing, then I really like to hone in on my strategy and only use things that will give me that I know have great risk to reward. And I'll also limit my risk by reducing the amount of money on the street. In March and April, I constantly had the most exposure on the street possible. And what that means is that I was going for maximum growth and I wanted to have my money working for me as best as possible. Now I'm transitioning, and I think that this is really important, and you said it, you touched on it, is that now I'm trying, we've had a great year so far. So now I'm still trying to grow, but my number one job is protecting capital. And that's all.
Well, you've made a damn good bit of it you got to protect, so.
Thanks, baby.
So whenever the market does start slowing down or maybe even just turns to a bear market, do you start shorting a little more or playing more options or anything like that?
Yeah, so I definitely play more options, and I don't short anything just because I don't, it's not like a moral reason.
You're not a bitch.
Yeah, I just don't see, it's so much easier to get squeezed to the upside than to the downside. We all get flushed, but if you get halted up on, I've seen, I've seen great traders that I've followed who are short traders. And I mean, one of the guys I'm thinking of right now, he lost $970,000 in a day.
Yeah, dude, I'm just thinking of like if you were shorting PRPO, like if
Yeah.
you just had 20,000, that's $100,000.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, most of these shorts, what they do is that they do take considerable size on margin. So if you get squeezed, all it takes is one squeeze. If I got flushed on Tesla options last week, okay, fine, I lost 30%. Okay, whatever. These guys, they go on margin, and now you're paying on margin. Now you get squeezed. If you get halted twice, here's the thing, is that the broker can sell for you. If the broker feels that their exposure is too much, because again, you're on margin, you're borrowing from them, then they can sell for you. And sometimes they're selling for you at the top. So even if you don't want to sell, you don't have the choice. So that's why I don't short, because all it takes is one thing. After I saw that guy lose, and it was a pretty decent, it was a guy, someone that I was looking up to, like, you know, he really knew what he was doing, and there's just nothing he could do. He got squeezed to the upside, lost $975,000. Now, again, if you make $1 million a month, fine, that's nothing. But that he lost 7 months worth of profit, and not only did he lose 7 months worth of profit, but it's also the mental capacity. Like what are you up, like 60 grand in the last 7 months?
About 65, about that, yeah.
Okay, yeah, so 65. Could you imagine if you lost that on Monday, what it would do to your mental capacity?
I wouldn't be able to. I don't know what I'd do.
Exactly. So the money apart, the money is one factor, but the mental capacity of it would just be, I mean, it would be too much. It would be too much for me. So that's huge.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess I can scratch my next question of, can someone who doesn't short make money in a bear market? Delete that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you want me to touch on that, yes. It's just in a bear market, you have to understand that things are getting pulled down with the market. Okay. When the algo, we talk about the algos aren't on. Okay, that's like kind of like a literal thing. When the algos aren't chasing stocks and the market's being pulled down, if you're swinging 40 things, all 40 things are going to be pulled down. So that's why it's super important to hone in on your strategy and make sure that the risk to reward is there. You don't want to have 50-50 risk to reward in a bear market. You need to have that 80-20. That 80-20 reward to risk.
About that?
Yeah, I know, but you need to make it's so imperative, because I mean, we're seeing it across the board that everybody's having a terrible August. And I mean, like I probably won't hit my goal, but I'm not losing money, and that's because I hone in on my strategy. And you have to take the best risk to reward possible, and you can't blow up 6 months of gains, especially when you're new, because you'll never recover from that mentally.
Yeah. Okay, so kind of back to current day. How is the COVID's market different in terms of, the waiters, obviously that kind of shit's running because of the food delivery and IBIO, the testing and the vaccines, blah, 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 blah. But the shelf offerings always bought up as quick prior to this? Were sympathy plays always running like they were prior to COVID? Can you kind of touch on that as more of someone who's been here a lot longer than maybe some of the people that have been listening?
Yeah, so we compare the Corona market to the Bitcoin mining market of like 2017 a lot. And it definitely has some similarities. Any company could mention Bitcoin or blockchain and it would fly. And that's because it added a whole new catalyst. And Corona adds a whole new catalyst. Like we talked about waiter and food delivery and testing and masks and all this type of crap. It adds a whole nother catalyst because that's what makes the stock move. But where Corona supersedes blockchain and any other, I don't want to say bubble, but that's kind of what it is. The difference with Corona is that there's more liquidity than ever in the market. And that's because people are having stimulus checks. It's funny. My mom was talking to her friend a few days ago, and she was like, oh, like, what's Hugh doing after college? And he's like, oh, he's doing his own thing. He's a trader. And her first words were, "Oh, he's a Corona trader. That's so nice. Johnny started doing that too. He's up like $300." And so regular Americans are becoming day traders, and that's awesome because there's more liquidity in the market.
I've heard realtors are actually becoming day traders too. I saw something on Fox Business about it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And we talk about it to a certain extent that Hugh, Zach, PJ, thank you for making me so much money, and it's insane. And it's just because there's so much liquidity. I mean, Zach had 5,000 followers this time last year. He's at 100,000. That alone should be like a Bloomberg statistic that shows, that regular Americans are just getting into the market at drones. 90 million TD accounts were set up in quarter 2. 90 million. That's one broker. Yeah, I know.
Dude, that's like insane? 1/3 of America.
Isn't that incredible?
1/4.
Yeah, but isn't that incredible? Like everybody's getting into the game. And so it's awesome because it adds so much liquidity. So when a sector starts to run,
we're so
everything
screwed when
runs.
they leave.
Yeah, Bob and I were talking about this the other day. We're like, dude, we're not even going to know how to trade anymore. Like something's not going to run 300%, and we're going to be like, what is this?
Yeah, right before coronavirus, I remember there was some like war shit going on. The oils were going, like an Iran thing, and then like the very next week it was like Corona time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that was a wild. I was in Costa Rica. I was in
January, I think.
Yeah, I was in Costa Rica for the whole oil thing, and I loaded the boat on the oils, and I woke up late one day. And there was like a pack talks or whatever, and I was down so much, and I was like, I'm such an idiot. And then Corona came around, and everything started running wild. And so that's really important, is that to understand why. So it gives us a catalyst, kind of like blockchain. And the other thing that it does is that there's so much liquidity in the market. So that's why I think that when a stimulus check does come, another stimulus check gets cut, even if it's not as big, I still do think that we will see more liquidity in the market. And that's why I'm not convinced that we will see a huge drop during election time. Because if right before election time, Americans get a stimulus check, I'm sure half of them are going to put inside their Robinhood TD Webull. And the thing that's going to drive things nuts, the thing that's going to drive the market higher is going to be these stimulus checks, because it's just building a house of cards. We can get into that.
I hope it never falls.
Yeah, I know.
So the last little bit of this one is, do you suppose this COVID market is calming down or what? Because it's kind of, the market kind of goes all wild regardless of whatever the statistics on COVID is now. But it seemed like the penny mania started to slow down to July, and then really slowed down in August with round 2 hitting. Could you kind of touch on those things?
Yeah, so I think it's important, what we just talked about was that the Corona catalyst. So I kind of group Corona as its own catalyst. So kind of like FDA catalyst.
There's so many. There's so many of them. Even if any company mentioned coronavirus, I remember GNUS was a kids channel, and it had a PR that included the words Warren Buffett and coronavirus.
Oh yeah, exactly, dude. I'm telling you, some CEOs and managers are so. I enjoy those. I like them because they'll be like, oh yeah, Warren Buffett, Brett Favre, Jamie Foxx, Corona, and then we would like to work with them. Like, they just mention them.
Yeah.
But that's scanners pick up words in press releases. And so I think it's sneaky. But I do think that the catalyst Corona is starting to slow down. You can't have the chances of a $20 million market cap company creating a Corona vaccine now seems dismal. But
earlier, like back in March, everyone was giving it a shot, and everyone was just believing whatever.
Yeah, weed companies were like, oh, you know what? We're actually just gonna cure Corona. Don't worry. We're starting a phase 1 or a preclinical, and it would run 1,000%.
Then camera companies decided they'd cure it recently.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that that's really important. That I do think that the catalyst of Corona is going to start to slow down. Now, take my words with a grain of salt, because if Corona kicks back into full gear and people start dying, knock on wood, that doesn't happen. But if that does happen, yeah, seriously, if it does happen though, then we could see that catalyst fire up again, and you'll see the IBIOs.
He's like, if it does happen, I will take advantage of those deaths. They will not be in vain.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. So and then, but like we said, liquidity is that another stimulus check is coming, so that will add liquidity to the market. And with that, although the Corona catalyst is gone, things with FDA approval, product drops, things with real catalyst, other catalysts will see a nicer pop. And also, again, it's August, so hedge fund managers are going to start coming back. They're once their kids go to school, they stop taking vacations. What you guys have to understand is that if I'm the hedge fund manager and I have 300 million under assets under management, when I go on vacation, I'm allowing my team to maybe use 50 million because I ain't trusting Dan with the reins. So. Oh. So when I come back, though, that's when everything can start again. But when I'm on vacation, I'm letting maybe a quarter, especially knowing that summer, I'm maybe allowing a quarter of my money to go onto the street. But when all these hedge fund managers come back and they stop taking vacations and all these, algo guys come back, we're going to see now I'm not saying that September 1st this is going to happen. Sometimes it takes 2 to 3 weeks into September for things to really start heating up again. But again, who cares? We have the rest of the year. What's 2 to 3 weeks?
Right. Okay, cool. So now to wrap it up with our final segments, we've got some swings of the week, our Q&A, Hughes DD, and our Working While Trading interview with the coolest guys and super famous DJs. Well, they were super famous in 2011, Great Carolina. So swings of the week, let's get into them. So I'm not going to name SPAC. SPAC is my swing of the end of the year, the fourth quarter. Still chilling with ONTX. We got a new one coming out in Hughes DD at the end, so stick around for that. And I got a little AVGR now.
I love SPAQ. I can't wait for that one to go. And then, of course, AVGR, OTLK. Wait, are we just swinging the same things?
Yeah, I that's why this segment's usually quick. If last midweek section, we give a really good rundown on these. Maybe go check that out.
Oh, okay. You know what though? I do want to touch on EVF. You know what? EVFN. We were really going towards that 350 pivot point, and I said that we would have to grind through that 350 before we saw anything. Obviously, Morgan Stanley, I don't know which one tried to screw me, Morgan or Stanley, but one of them saw us going for that pivot point and released a neutral price target. Now, usually these things don't matter, but for whatever reason, EVFM decided to go down 40 cents on your boy because of some analyst schmook decided that the price was neutral. I talked to him on the phone. He said that he feels that Fexi will take a while to come into the market. Fine, whatever. But that being said, I still think that we have to grind through the 350, and once we get through the 350, then I think we'll start to see some more movement. It sucks that it came out then. They also officially hired their 60 people, and now they're on the payroll, which is good. We knew that they hired them, but them giving them stock options and them giving them options means that they're fully vested into the company now.
Good, load zone. All right, so let's dive right into the Q&A section. First one's first. How do you guys accept big, heartbreaking, out-of-control losses, like blindside offering losses? Usually stocks mainly do offerings whenever they've run up a good bit, and I don't like to hold too much of those. I was already out a good bit of AVGR. I post my positions on my Instagram every day, and you could see I only had about 3,500 when it got down there. So I didn't lose too much on it, but yeah. Yeah,
I mean, I'm still swinging a lot. I'm gonna load the boat real soon. I have a boat loaded.
This is about heartbreaking losses, not AVGR.
Oh, sorry. Heartbreaking losses.
How do you avoid them, and how do you
just don't fall in love? We're talking about stocks.
Well,
well, I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry. But okay, so first off, you have to understand that's part of the game. We play a game where most of the people fail, And it's a game about controlling your losses and letting your wins run. So once you understand that when you're playing with fire, you're bound to get burned. Okay? We literally play Russian roulette with ourselves. One time you're gonna get knocked in the head. You're going to get shot in the face one time. So that's kind of how I look at it. Yeah, that's kind of how I look at it. But that being said, how you limit these things is Buy Sell Short has a great video on it. But real quick, if something runs 200 to 300%, just I don't know why you don't cut some. Like 200%, you should automatically cut half. That's all.
Yeah. Okay, next one. How do you react to unanticipated news in a position you sold? I bought and sold GEVO with no movement, then it skyrocketed out of nowhere. Did I just not do enough DD? I don't think doing more DD would have let you know when the stock was going to skyrocket, but you got to think, I mean, a lot of people lost money on it. So you just got to take it with a grain of salt and just understand that how do I react to unanticipated news on the position I sold? I don't.
Yeah. I lost money. I took a loss on something, and the next day it was worth 7 figures. It is what it is. It's not about the DD at that point. It's just, again, we play Russian roulette. You play with fire, you're bound to get burned. If something has a catalyst due Q3 and you get tired of it and you cut it, you have to understand that eventually news is going to come out on it. It just happened to be the day after you decide to cut it. It's just a coincidence. But if you are thinking like that, then you probably should have kept like 20% in at least.
I think you need a new analogy instead of Russian roulette. There's literally like no benefit to playing Russian roulette.
I mean,
like a rush.
Yeah. I mean, dude, we're all psychopaths. We have to be.
Facts. Okay. Hey Dan, love the show. Love you too. Quick tax question. In a retail account, do you just total up the net from wins and losses after sale and add that to your income? I assume TDA will 1099 me. This is the first year I've made any money. Shout out to Atlas. And I'm up about 56K this year. Congrats. Nice. Any help?
Yeah, so we're going to do an entire show towards the end of Q3 about taxes. But you will get a huge packet in the mail from TD. They make it, or really any broker, they make it super easy for you. I am self-employed. I am a student.
Even if you have like a TurboTax and file your own, they actually have like a copy paste shit where on TurboTax it has a section where it's like, do you play with stocks? And it's like, yes, and like hold your hand. And it's like, okay, well if you used Webull, click here, log in, and it will automatically have the file basically. Yeah,
exactly. It's super simple. Or if you have an accountant, which most of you should. If you have an accountant, just give them the whole packet.
All right, cool. How do halts work?
Yeah, Gary Trades, baby, on YouTube. We just did a video yesterday. It'll be dropping Sunday night.
Tonight, yeah.
Yeah, tonight. So as you listen to this, Gary will be uploading his video. We go into deep segment about halts.
We usually compete to see who uploads first.
Yeah. I give an analogy about women on there.
Surprise.
About halts. No, actually, we are sitting down at a restaurant with the girl. You want me to tell you? I'll tell you.
A bar.
I said halts are like, like when you go on a first date and you're sitting there and like she's like rubbing your thigh, being all nice and like, oh Dan, you're so sweet. And then all of a sudden the waiter gives her, like chicken marsala instead of like chicken parm, and she freaks. She like gets it all up in his face and she's like, you dumb bitch, and like she's freaking out, and then she just sits back down and she's like, so babe, how was your day? That's
an awful analogy, man. That one I think might be your worst.
You don't even know what I was going to say about it. I'm just giving you.
And then she just starts giving you head in the dining booth. Yeah, dude, was it worth it? That's PRPO. I had to. She went to the bathroom for 4 hours and then came out with $12,000 for me because she robbed the place.
What do you got? Well, the question was, all right. To give context, the question was, how do you tell which way a halt's going to go? And so that's why I used the analogy of the girl that you don't know.
I guess we'll just have to wait and listen to Gary's YouTube video. This is just supposed to be a plug for the video, man.
I'm gonna ask everyone if they get my analogy, because I bet they do.
We'll find out in Gary's video. Next question. I'm just wondering what the best option is for full market depth on level 2. I'm living in Canada, so I'm not sure if it's different for you guys, but I never see walls and my level 2 only shows maybe 5 points at a time. Anything you can suggest to me? I'm guessing your level 2, you're seeing all orders. Thanks, bro. I think your best bet for the whole Canadian situation is to talk to Amanda Certainty on Twitter from Canada. Really helpful person for that, but level 2s, I think, different brokers, it is definitely different for a lot of them. What do you think about that, Hugh?
Yeah, I really don't know much about Canada. I mean, Canada's beautiful. But as far as level 2 goes, it sounds like you have a ladder, it's called, to where you can see like what different prices are at, but that you can't see the orders. That's what it sounds like to me. But again, I really don't know. Amanda's probably the best to tell you. I really don't know. If you have a friend in America, just have them open up a TD or something and log in. Is that legal?
I don't know. I'd probably not. Well, we're not financial advisors. Good time to let everyone know that.
Yeah, we don't know what we're broke college kids.
Yeah, we're not brokers. We're broke. Why don't you alert options, Hugh? I don't alert them because I don't play them. What about you?
I don't alert options because options are a super easy way to blow up your account. Even me, my risk to reward ratio changes on options to where most of the time my strategy is not 80-20 proof, and it's not really catalyst based. It's more fundamental chart based, and so that in itself changes the risk to reward. And also the other thing is that if I alert that I'm taking Tesla 100 or what is it, like 1,500 call options at this price, all that's going to do is drive up my option price to where the underlying price is not the valuation metrics. So, you'll be driving up my price, which thank you, but it won't make sense for the valuation perspective.
Such a good guy.
I know, thank you. So I don't alert them because half of you will get your accounts blown up. So that's why I don't do that.
He doesn't do it because he's so much smarter than you guys, and that's what he said. He said, I'm so much smarter than you guys, and I just don't think you guys are smart enough to do it without losing money.
Well, Dan's definitely not, but you guys, everyone else. Wait, what'd you say last week? What'd you say?
I can't be the stupidest fucking person listening to this podcast. Yeah.
I'll take bets.
Okay, so a couple people want to know, do you have any index funds or ETF funds in your Roth?
Yeah, so I like the Qs, QQQ. Okay, I like QQQ. There are a few index funds that you guys can go into. I really like some of the ones that BlackRock and Vanguard, or I think it's BlackRock, and there's a few other brokers where they make these index funds with certain retirement dates. So what that means is that they change the index based on the retirement date. So the retirement date for some of them is 60 years out, where the retirement date for some of them is 30 years out. So what they do is that not only do they change how the index is weighted, but they also change it so that if you're 60 years out, it's more risky. But if you're only 10 years out, then what it does is that it transitions from less growth to more value stocks. And so I think that that's really cool, that if you really don't know what to do with your Roth, reach out to BlackRock or, do a little bit of research. And a lot of these funds they're called retirement indexes, and then they'll have a certain date for maturity. And that's really cool, because if you don't want to pay attention and you don't know how you should be weighting your speculative risk versus your non-risky, or your value stocks, like your AT&Ts versus your growth stocks, like UAVS, this index does it for you. So it'll just weight it for you. And I think that that's really cool.
All right, sweet.
I can tweet some of those too.
All right, cool. We got one more question, and then we can get into working while trading. Not really a question directly related to pennies, so unsure if it's appropriate topic for the show. Hugh, I'd love to hear your thoughts, and Dan's, of course. I think he edited that part in because it was an edited message. On investments in property /real estate /REITs. REITs. I don't know what that is. As younger guys, well, I know it's unlikely to already have properties, but is that path potentially interests you? You know, a lot of rich people that probably sold drugs to make money say they made it all with real estate. So yeah, that does interest me. I'd have to look into it a lot more. And this is by my boy Kink. Shout out Kink.
Yeah, so this is really cool. So I call them, I'm never gonna say it because you guys can make fun of
REITs.
Yeah, the REITs. So what they are is that you actually contribute. Think of it like an index. You contribute to the index, and then they do everything, and it's like a profit share. So it's kind of like an index with like dividends and stuff like that. But you don't have to take care of the properties. Then you have real estate, and so this is something that I have an apartment. I have 2 apartments, and all they do is that they contribute to. It doesn't do much right now, and I don't own the full apartments outright. I own a percentage, kind of like a right. But I do plan to get into real estate because there's some real benefits into real estate. One, the taxes are insane. The taxes, I mean, like right now I get shafted by taxes. I write a bigger check than I'll ever write myself for taxes every year. And then with real estate, you can write off office space. You can write off any repairs that you do. You can write off your, some payments. So it's really cool. Depreciation. There's so much that you can do in the real estate sector. And then on top of that, it gives you a chance to leverage yourself. So if you take $1 million a year, you can leverage that to like $10 million worth. Or if you really want to leverage yourself, most of the time you only need about a 20% down payment. So if you have $1 million, hell, think about if you have $10 million. If you have $10 million, you can leverage yourself 20 times. And that can really give you because we are stock traders, and that there is times where we don't make much money during the month. So by diversifying yourself and adding real estate, you can add supplemental income that, not saying that's always there, but say that like in Hoboken, the vacancy rate is about 15%. So if you own 100 units, at one time, the most amount of units that will not be filled will be 15. And even that's probably pretty high. So it gives you a way to supplement your income. So if you can live just on your real estate, and so say that every month you make $1,000 from real estate, and then 800 goes towards the mortgage because you're leveraging yourself, and you live off of the $200 a month, then everything that you make from trading is pure gravy money, and then you just keep leveraging yourself. We can totally go into that at a different time, but I have like 15 Excel sheets.
Yeah, to the people that can live off that $200 a month, let's go. Yeah, he's moving out for the first time on Monday.
I am. Tomorrow. I started breaking down my desk.
Okay, so one more. This is a little scenario that just kind of popped to me. It's I'm 21 years old and I live with my mom, and I had this option. I'm not sure if I made money or lost money on it. It doesn't matter, because this week it was worth $10 million. This is actually about you, Hugh. How is that? Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, we can talk about that. So
a little quickie, just because I thought it was kind of silly.
That's so nice. Thank you. I really didn't. Yes, that would have been my biggest trade ever.
Yeah, no shit. It's 3 times the size of your account.
So I took Tesla options on Thursday, and we should definitely talk about this. Last Thursday. Stop saying Tesla is a bubble, okay? You have to understand why it's going up. It was added to the S&P, which means that indexes have to add it. So indexes that follow the S&P have to add, it's like follow the leader, okay? They have to buy, okay? What does volume predicts price action? So when indexes are buying, the price is going to go up, because it has to follow the S&P. So stop saying that Tesla's a bubble up here, but it doesn't matter because it was added to the S&P. Therefore, indexes that follow the S&P have to buy. When there's more buying pressure than selling pressure, the price goes up. So I've been playing a lot of Tesla options for that reason. Last Thursday, I was up a good bit, and on the high of the day break, I was going to take X amount of options, and I added a 0. I then got flushed, and I ended up selling for about a $90,000 loss. Yes, it hurts, but it is what it is. I knew that I was going on vacation. I didn't want the stress of holding it.
Anyways, he had weak hands and lost 9,000 instead of gaining 10 million.
90.
I probably would have sold it. 90,000. Yeah. So I would have sold that on 90 million.
No. I would have. I lost 90 after being up 150.
Yeah. Right, but didn't it go all the way to 10 million this week?
Yeah, like 9.7.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that stinks. Okay, now to finish it up with, and this was an absolute ball, our Working While Trading segment where we discuss how different traders manage their trades while working different jobs. And today we got some really cool DJs. I'm not sure how I introduced them in there, so if I've already said this, take it out, Vinny. But you know what it is. Let's get it.
Okay, now we're back to Working While Trading with the hottest and self-proclaimed tallest DJs in the world. Breathe Carolina, whose song Blackout peaked at a staggering #1 on the UK indie charts. But even more impressive, they're traders, just like us. Well, come on, guys. How are you?
Damn, #1 in the UK.
UK indie charts.
That's how you know.
Astrid.
That's how you know. That's how you know that we did it right.
Too, you know what I mean?
Dude, I mean, the Americans weren't as big of fans. Number 32 is not bad, but I mean, the Brits were digging it.
Listen, nobody listening to this had a #1 UK indie, so we did better than anyone listening. That's all.
Dude, we're the #1 podcast in Bermuda.
I know, yeah. I get it. Yeah, you guys are.
So they're
all stars in their own right. You know what I mean?
See, yeah, different. You put us together, who knows what we're gonna accomplish?
What's crazy is how much money you guys make from doing the podcast. Like trading is one thing, but how much money you bring in, like revenue from the podcast,
dude. And it's like, Vinny, how can you ever bitch us? You're getting like $25,000 per podcast episode.
It's crazy.
So, and all that's in Bermudan currency as well, which is extremely more valuable than the US dollar.
Wow.
That was like my mom's question when I told her to listen to our podcast. She's like, "Oh, like how much money do you guys make? Like on the podcast?" I was like, "Oh no, we don't. We don't. It costs us money to do the podcast."
Yeah. They'll understand eventually. I'll be like, "Look, Mom, I'm with these guys, and they put like pianos and saxophones over old songs. It's kind of hard to explain." But
next thing you know, you got a
nice.
#1 in the UK indie charts.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, you remix this podcast right here, and we may be onto something.
Oh, don't think we won't, dude. We'll do it.
Okay, dude. So the first question, man, how exactly did you guys get into trading at first, and why was it Bitcoin?
How did we get? No, it wasn't Bitcoin. You know what it was? It was the first thing we ever traded like years ago was Litecoin, not even Bitcoin.
I knew it was a cryptocurrency.
It was, but this is like
saw it in your eyes.
I didn't even know it was trading. You know what I mean?
I think we probably saw like Bitcoin on Twitter, and we were like, "Oh, sick!"
We were in Israel. And
like, how the hell else are we gonna order MDMA off the internet?
No, it's exactly. Yeah, it was my little brother. We were in Israel, and all the Israelis were talking about Bitcoin, and they kept going, "Baby, Bitcoin, baby," and we're like, "Yeah, for sure." And we at the time couldn't afford Bitcoin, so we just saw Litecoin, and we're like, "It's the same thing, but cheaper." We just buy Litecoin, and I think we made like
smart. It was good logic. Nice.
Then,
well, dude, that's a really good start. That's more than I make per podcast episode.
I mean, there you go. And then
way
this time
more.
around, how did we start trading? I mean, what happened?
The COVID-19 happened.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, just like everybody, I guess the huge influx of people is like COVID happened. We stopped touring so much, and we were like, all right, we need a reason to get up in the morning. So we just kind of started messing around. We got like insanely lucky at first. Both were like in Genus, like at the absolute bottom. Actually sold it like on the pop. Had no idea what we were doing. Sold it like at 11 before it like crashed, and then K-Top like right after that like took off. So it like shot up our shit like right away. And then now we're actually like paying attention. But at that time, we both made like pretty retarded money for having absolutely no idea what we were doing.
Oh, so you guys were like, oh, Wall Street doesn't know what they're talking about. This is so freaking easy.
Yeah, it's easy.
I mean, yeah, off the bat, we were like, I was like telling my family I'm a trader now. I'm like, you know,
you're like, I thought the music thing was working out, sweetie.
I'm like, if you guys need any like investment tips, like just telling my like dad who's like rich. I'm like, yeah, dude, just hit me up.
People are like, what do you do? Like, how did you know? I'm like, dude, follow Yates, man. That's the only thing you got to do.
Hey, dude,
it's a real good strategy.
This is not rocket science, man. All the people with the 11 monitors, They're just fooling you, you know?
Exactly.
This is easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we both went through like the steps that like a lot of people took. We both went through them like really fast. Like Motley Fool, Yates, BSS paid room, like all the steps that you were supposed to take like over like a period of time. We did it in like 4 days. And then now
we want it all now.
Yeah, now we're here like, all right, I kind of understand it.
I'm surprised. I know you said you started with around 10K, I believe. I'm surprised you didn't just say, fuck it, I'm putting in 25. We're PDT traders, baby.
I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't know when I first started the account, I didn't know what day trading was. I was like, dude, I'm investing in Genus, man. It's gonna pop off.
I remember the first time I got
Dude.
for it, I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, what do you?
Wait, I can't just day trade with like $2,000 in there. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Like, dude, why are you trying to prevent me from financial freedom?
Exactly.
I'm
Straight
making
up.
too much money that now you're stopping me? Come on.
Did you guys get flagged?
What'd you say?
Did you guys get flagged for too much day trading?
Yeah, I got flagged. I think only one time or two times, but they took it off. I just wrote them and they took it off, so that was cool.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was nice.
Well, I mean, you guys are international superstars.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's just
it'd
you
be
don't want
very
us
bad.
to tweet about you.
They
If
knew
we,
we
God forbid, dude. Ever since I think I've gained like 40 followers since we've started like interacting on Twitter.
just send the check straight to my house that you from the.
Oh yeah, I also get money every time I tweet. They're like subliminal ads. Like you don't see them, but like soon enough, you're like, oh fuck, I need to buy some Skittles.
Exactly.
So what? How exactly are you guys trading now? From the sound of it, it sounded like you were like, holy shit, Genius is the next Cartoon Network. I'm holding it until it's 50.
No, the crazy thing is it popped so crazy and we were both up so much that we actually sold it. Like we didn't even sell it because we knew that we should sell it up there. We just sold it because we were both. I was like looking at my account. And I was like, I just made $10,000. I just
that's a shit ton of money.
like I didn't
That's
know
a lot of
why.
money.
Yeah, I mean when you have absolutely no idea what you're doing, you know.
Yeah.
But now I understand like why it crashed after that. Like when it literally crashed 5 seconds later, I didn't even know why it crashed. I was just like saying stuff that I had seen on Twitter. I was like stop loss raid. I had like no idea what that meant, but I was just like saying it.
Dude, this is a business and investing podcast. You make yourself right at home, feet on the couch, whatever, dude.
It's my couch, man.
It's not your couch, dude.
I bought this couch. I bought this couch in half cash and half credit, bro. Like
Oh shit,
That builds credit.
Dude.
That builds credit.
airline miles, man.
Dude, yeah, dude. Now that I've always used a JCPenney credit card, and they're closing. So it's like, now what do I do with all my JCPenney's rewards points?
It's got to roll over to something,
Might roll over.
Right? Like maybe a Macy's.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would think.
Okay, so I know that you guys have been able to trade a whole lot more during this whole like this thing that's going on. Like there's some like flu or I don't know. They get like pissed off if you call it the flu. I haven't really heard much about it, but
I had it. I personally had it, and nothing happened to me. So
you came out stronger,
dude. I didn't know. I had gotten tested, didn't have it because we were in China, like as it was happening. Like we were.
Oh fuck yeah!
So
Whoa, they let you back in?
Yeah, and
Dude, we literally landed, and then 3 days later, it was like global pandemic, China borders closed, and we had just got home like 3 days.
So we were like, we have it for sure. And then so we got tested, didn't have it. Then
So you guys potentially brought it to America.
yeah, no, people are saying that it was us.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
it's good, but no publicity is bad publicity.
No, exactly. That's what they say. Yeah, and then I got tested again, and I had the antibodies, so they said that I did have it at some point, but I never got sick. So
Do you think like I could have some of the antibodies because I haven't had it yet? So
yeah,
it's
no,
like,
I could try. I think I could do it through Venmo.
You just like
Send it
just
over.
Send it over.
yeah, just like DM it to. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We don't leave the house enough, Dan. I wouldn't even know what was going on.
Yeah, dude. If people didn't tweet about shit, like I'd be like, why the fuck is everyone wearing a mask? Hey, okay, it's Ninja Appreciation Month. I get it. Like, cool. So whenever you guys do get back to doing shows and everything, how do you think that's going to affect your trading? You guys going to be fucking super swing traders, or is it just going to be like, I know it's going to be tough when you're getting home during the pre-market and recovering from like Molly hangovers on a daily basis. So,
I mean, the way I see it is like, we're going to be up. We're up at like 5 anyway, going to the airport usually. We always buy Wi-Fi on a plane. So will you probably be
what?
Yeah, we're not that frugal. We pay the $12 for the Wi-Fi.
Do you guys know the markups on Wi-Fi? Are you guys insane? Are you guys insane? Do you guys fly first class? Do you guys get the extra leg room?
We don't
too?
pay for first class, but we get upgraded like 98% of the time because we're platinum or executive.
Damn, that's awesome.
We're buying the cheap seats, but we're getting upgraded to the big boys. So it's like a win-win every time. You know what I'm saying?
Damn it, dude. We've got to be there.
But then we buy the $2,000 internet. So it kind of.
My ears are bleeding. My ears, listening to you type in your credit card to buy the Wi-Fi, it hurts my soul, fellas.
Dude, they have a blue check mark. So, I mean, naturally that, like, they get a bunch of money, like, residually, like, just being on the internet now. Like, so it's just how much every time they spend on the internet, they just get a shit ton of money.
Exactly. And T-Mobile gave us free service and phones. So it all equals out.
Oh, dude, back in 2011, T-Mobile was sponsoring just about anyone. It was you and Shaq, baby. Oh, man. It sucks that no one they sponsored could keep them relevant in the phone industry there. But I think if anyone's going to bring it back, y'all heard it here first, T-Mobile.
Straight up. I don't even think we answered your question, though. But
I think, you know what I'm worried about, though, is because we do a lot of shit in, like, Asia, too. So, like, the internet is always horrible there. So, like, when we leave for Asia for, like, 2 weeks at a time, chances are we might not even be able to, like, log into an account to see what's happening. So I'm like, do I, like, set a stop loss at every single thing I have in case something really bad happens? Or do we like?
Do you just cash out?
Dude,
cash out?
Do you give Dan your login just to handle it for
we'll
you?
Like, login.
Dude,
no
you
way.
You log into the internet in China, go to TD Ameritrade or whatever, and all the Chinese companies like SXTC and shit, they're all like 4 times higher.
Yeah, dude, bankrupt, baby, banker.
Yeah.
Just 2 weeks later, you come back rich as hell, or richer, or broke.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I would just review it with you. You know, for we'll work out the details, like maybe some residual checks on maybe a song that didn't hit #1 on the UK indie charts.
Right.
I know those are probably paying for
like a 5%. You know what I mean? Off the top.
We'll make you guys maybe famous DJs.
Can I be part? Ooh, that's also not a bad idea. I was going to say partial ownership of the All-Star song.
But have ownership of that song.
Yeah, those Smash Mouth guys do not seem like they're going to get... It's like Yellow Card still suing Juice WRLD after he's dead.
Don't even get started on that. We ripped on them on Twitter. That was not a cool move.
I know,
dude, I'm still like...
I still talk shit about him.
Yeah, it was the wackest shit ever.
Like, yo,
is that how we get inside the music
song?
What's up?
Dan, if we start tweeting Twitter beefs, you know, with music, I mean, we could genuinely get into the music industry.
I don't. Dude, yeah, and you guys. Okay, so look, you guys are old. Let's face it. Me and you, we're the young bucks. You guys make the music, put it out with these. All right, fair enough. Anyways, next question. Yeah, I think setting limit sells and stop loss is a good idea if you don't trust your friend Dan with that. So you guys have clearly had a good run up in your account because you've told me, because we are good enough friends that we can talk about financials clearly. How exactly have you noticed the past few weeks, past month changing from the beginning of your trading experience? Is it a little different with how slow the market's gotten, and also with the fact that you're more experienced?
I think we got in at a good time, like when it was like right when everything crashed in March and shit. Like we were buying shit cheap and then just seeing it rise like quicker, and we were like, oh hell yeah, we got this shit down. And then now it's like a lot harder to like make the gains that we were making without even knowing what we were doing. You know what I mean?
Dude, it was so easy. I regret every day not maxing out credit cards and trading with it then.
Yeah, I've noticed that like this week especially, there's been like one, like, I don't know if it's a bad thing or a good thing. You guys probably think it's a bad thing, but I've kind of liked it. There's just been like one obvious like day play every day this week, like one or two, which is
and it's been AVGR every day.
Yeah, but like today was like GEVO or whatever, and it's just like it seems to be those like obvious like plays that like everybody's like FOMOing on, where like before it was like there was like FOMO on like 15 things a day, so you could literally just like rack out so hard. So I mean, we never traded in August before. I've just heard you guys say that it's absolutely horrible.
They're just trying to scare you.
August is as horrible.
No, I didn't make anything last August. I didn't make anything. I said I was going to take off this month, but then that didn't happen.
And then here you are on a podcast with the #1 DJs in the UK.
How did you guys start like getting so into this and so good at it? Like, where did that?
I started making videos so I could be friends with people that were actually good at it. And then I was like, I'll just cheat my way to getting good at it. I think Hugh actually spent 5 years practicing.
Yeah. You know, I was trying to impress the girls, and I followed BSS one play. I made like $1,000. And I was like, done, baby.
Yeah, that's the mentality. You're like,
sign me up. Yeah, this is cool. I like this.
Dude, that first trade, it's always like, dude, I'm like, market tuition? The fuck is that? They're paying me to go to this motherfucker.
It is crazy when you first start. Like, everybody I know that like signs up for Webull or like a Robinhood, whatever, like the first week, every single person makes money. It's like crazy, like how everybody I know that signed up, like, they're like, dude, this is so, I made $2K in bed today, man. I'm like, all right, give it like 5 days. It's not going to be like that. Like, it was just your first.
Yeah, dude, like take those gains, deposit them, and then keep trading with what you first had. Oh man. Yeah, it's been a wild ride, especially these past few months. And like, it's been like a eagle soaring through the wind, like majestically just flapping its wings as we glide into greener pastures daily.
Damn.
Do you feel the same?
That was a good sermon.
I got really locked.
Yeah.
And I was like imagining it. I was like, oh, this is great.
Yeah, dude, you're like, yeah, dude, whew, yeah, you got it down. So I think really how we can wrap this up is you're getting married.
I am getting married. I have not gotten married yet. He just got married, a year ago.
Summer.
Yeah, last summer. So
okay,
dude, I'm getting married too.
Hell yeah.
He's not getting married.
I was gonna say he's 21 or something. I don't think he's getting married.
Yeah. So just because I like public commitment, we are invited.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I told you last night on in Twitter DM.
I know, but that was in private. I just want to make sure everyone. So like, if you don't invite us, like I don't want to hear that our invitation got lost in the mail, and I'm seeing Instagram pictures, and I'm like, oh my god, what am I gonna do with this tuxedo, right?
Yeah. No.
So,
yeah. I mean, Dave's here as my witness. You guys are invited. You have to come.
Where do you guys live?
Let's go.
Alabama, baby.
I have a good friend that lives there. Where do you guys both live in the same place?
No. You would never catch me. Man, I was in Virginia this week. Man, I wanted to jump off of the cliffs I was hiking, man. Never. I'm in New Jersey.
Okay.
So at your wedding, is there going to be like real musicians there?
Not that you guys aren't, but
No, I mean like ones that like, I don't know, like have talent,
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
I mean they'll people that actually
I think what you guys do is cool where you get on and you have like your MacBook or whatever, and you press the space bar, and you just have all these underage chicks dancing and getting soap all over them and
all right,
shit.
you got to be 18 to come to our shows, man. It's by law.
No, 18.
You got
18.
You got to have something that says you're 18.
Okay. Oh man, well, I am happy to let you know that I do have a driver's license that says I'm 25. The bouncer, we're gonna have to talk about like why. I do have hair.
Yeah, by the way, you can't come to my wedding if you don't grow your hair out, though.
I know. I look like I'm going to shoot the place up, and I'm not, I promise.
My wife will freak out. She'll be like, who's this random kid with the bald head? I'll be like, I met him on the internet.
Well, we had to bring him. Like, look at him, honey.
Make a
He doesn't
wish.
have much
Just make
time.
a wish.
Make a wish. His
Dude,
wish was to come to my
I'll
wedding.
just talk in a British accent. I'll be like, "Oh, I'm a huge UK indie fan back in 2011." Oh man, well, I've had a blast. This has been the weirdest. Well, there's only been two, but this is absolutely going to be a hard to top working while trading segment. This has been amazing. I feel blessed.
We
Well,
feel blessed.
I hope this was recorded.
I'm curious how
No.
much money I lost while talking to you. That's the real question.
Yeah, I think we could all check together. One sec. I know.
I really don't want to.
Yeah, well, Hugh, you have more money than the rest of us. Well, these guys are world famous, so you probably. I mean,
I'm just a college kid.
Yeah,
I ain't doing nothing.
today.
You're just a poor college kid.
My swing account is down, so that's cool.
Oh, dude, yeah, your swing account. Yeah,
Well,
dude,
I have two now.
Do
Apparently,
you guys have a Roth IRA?
Whoa.
No, we were just talking about getting Roth IRAs.
Are you guys kidding me?
I set mine up yesterday.
Oh,
You guys buy internet on a plane, on a tin can.
IRA guy, I know.
We listened
Dude,
to this episode, man.
I had, you know how many people tweeted me that said, "Yo, move on. It's just a Roth IRA." I was like, hurting.
It's just your family. Dude,
We're
like,
on it now, though.
Okay. Well, like I said, I would love to just sit and chat all day. Like we could all spoon or something like sometime in a very platonic way. And maybe we could hang out again. And if you guys don't want to, just don't say you don't want to. Just don't respond
We'll
to
have
me.
you guys on our podcast.
Yeah, we'll have you guys on our podcast.
That sounds.
I don't know if we can afford your fee, but
yeah, dude. We'll get Vinny in touch with you. And
do you guys have custom shoes? We have custom shoes.
Shoes.
we haven't. Well, we were promised.
Not yet,
because we crashed our sponsor's website. We also we've been promised lots of shit. We're not, the people don't deliver. So
it's coming. It's coming.
Yes. Okay. So you guys can have something to say. I will give you a Breathe Carolina private jet. So now you guys can say you guys have one, or at least it's on its way.
It's being built right now.
It's being built.
Yeah, I mean, like Drake had one, but that took a long time to build.
Yeah, it's custom. He's not like that. He's not like.
I mean, he has no number one UK indie chart song.
I guarantee he does not have a number one UK indie chart. So
that's true.
All right, guys.
All right, dudes.
See you guys.
Thanks
for homies.
See y'all.
Thanks for listening, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. This is brought to you by the Blazing Chronicle. See you next week.